What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Sleuth Intuition channel. I'm your host, Patrick Vallejos. My friends call me Sleuth. Today we're looking at the Rachel Morin and Laken Riley case. Could they be connected? Right. The question is this guy on this guy? I don't think the question is this guy the same guy as this here? I don't believe that that's the case. And if it is, they're going to find out soon enough through DNA, right? But I think what we are learning is that the guy right here could very well be a migrant just like this guy. But I think a bigger question is why did they use the same why did they have the same MO really? Is it because they're both coming from the same place, they have the same anger, they're in the exact same situation, therefore they're acting out in the same manner? Or could they possibly even know each other? Could he have committed the murder alongside of another person? This person, both of them could be responsible for Rachel's death. Possibly. Did they speak to each other? He said, well, I killed Rachel Morin. This is how I did it. I completely destroyed her face, moved her to an isolated location, and I was able to get away. I went right back into, it would be easy to go right back into Mexico, right? Take a bus to Texas, cross the border, or you wouldn't even need to cross the border. Go right back to Texas and jump on a bus to LA. Or one thing I've learned is that they're shipping. Well, here, it might be easier for me to show you. So we'll do a quick overview on Rachel's case and Laken's case. Then we'll start diving into some of these theories a little bit more. Okay, so these are the areas of interest when we were doing a deep dive on Rachel's case. We know the crime happened in Maryland. We know it's also connected to California through DNA. Remember the hat. The hat that's similar to the one that's on the sketch was found in LA. So that's where they recovered the hat, was here. Remember, he's walking out of the home looks like he was trying to gather all his things. But the investigation, for one reason or the other, led them to Chicago. And also to DC. And DC is right across the pond here from Maryland, where Rachel was from, where she was living and where she was murdered. Now, one thing they all have in common that I found out is, let's see if I have this. So Texas, and specifically Abbott, looks like the one thing they have in common really is immigration. All the places really listed in relation to Rachel's investigation are sanctuary cities. So you have people from Venezuela coming through Mexico and coming into the United States by way of Texas. So that's how I believe they're connected. So here, Texas has also bused over 12,500 migrants to Washington, D.C. since 2022, right? They visited D.C. chasing down some leads. a sanctuary city. Well, if you can even call DC a city, it's almost its own country, really. Over 3,700 migrants to New York, over 30,000 to Chicago. Another location that was mentioned in the search for Rachel Morin's killer. And then you also have Philadelphia, Denver, and Los Angeles. Now, Denver, what I'm learning is at the top of the list for migrants. Journalists and reporters visiting the border, asking people coming in specifically from Venezuela, people coming in through El Paso and the Texas Mexico border. The majority of them want to go to Denver. For some reason, they believe once they get to Denver, they'll get to go wherever they want. So think about it. All this killer really has to do is get back to Denver and tell them, well, I just got off a bus from Texas. Well, where do you want to go? They ask them, where do you want to go? You want to go to LA? You want to go to Philadelphia? You want to go to Chicago? Or you want to go to DC? It's a pretty good explanation as to why we have somebody committing a horrible act in LA, in California, and then also in Maryland, which is on the complete other side of the country. So I think that may be the connection. It could go deeper only because of the similarities of the crime. But that's definitely a reach. The DNA will clear that up. Let's go to a super chat here by Tom. Thanks, Tom. This guy was from Venezuela, correct? Yep. Came in through El Paso, Texas. Welcome in, everybody. Big Bird D. Kristen, 63. 517 Kel, Saska, Chopper. Tom, thanks again. Jill, good to see you. 63. Beth, welcome in. Ziggy, Mustang. Molly, Wanda, Solar. Marbles, what up? Cindy, Mustang. Who am I missing? Wanda, what up? Sensei, Periwinkle. Candice Fonseca, welcome in. And everybody else. Okay, let's learn a little bit about what's going on with Laken. I'm sure you guys know a little bit more about what was going on with Rachel's case, but we're going to look at that as well. I think this is a little memorial that they got going on for her. Notice how they put the N here with the flower. Okay, now the location of her incident was 110 Lake Herrick Drive, Intramural Fields. Was part of the university there in Georgia. Don Spain says, hi, Sleuth and crew, driving and listening in. Thanks for the coverage. You got it, Don. Don is the one who brought this case to my attention. And we are going to do some comparisons just for those folks who are more, more visual, I guess. Because there's reports that this gentleman here, I think his name is Jose Yvara, and he also has a brother, I think by the name of Diego. Now, Diego looks a lot like this person here. Well, I won't say he looks a lot like, but he looks much more like him. And one thing we've learned about sketches, right? It's not a photograph. It's a resemblance of basically a memory. All right. I say we start here. Let me know if you're not getting
on
any
the
audio.
murder of a nursing student on the University of Georgia campus. Court documents on the murder of a nursing student on the University of Georgia campus. Court documents detailing the disturbing allegations against the illegal immigrant charged with killing Laken Riley, who you see right there on your screen.
Yeah, so that's Laken. She was a nursing student. Let's go to some of these super chats coming through by Tom N. Photoshop a hat on this guy. Oh, we're going to. We'll do that, and anything else we can come up with. We'll spend a maybe 15, 20 minutes messing around with a comparison. Would be interesting to know if he had a record. Well, I spent a lot of the morning kind of looking into what they do in Venezuela. Like, do they keep a database? Do they keep when you go to prison or jail in Venezuela? Do they take your fingerprints? Do they take your DNA? But I also know that they're not an ally of ours. If anything, they're more on the enemy lines as far as politics is concerned. But I was wondering if there's any way we could get access to that database or try to make a comparison, because it appears that whoever killed Rachel could very well be a migrant, who's traveling, kind of utilizing the conflict between Democrats and Republicans and the conflict in Texas. He's like, well, we'll just bus everybody out to these sanctuary cities. And killers are utilizing that. They're saying, hey, we can commit violent crime as long as we have time to get out of there, right?
Fox's Madison Scarpino following the story from Athens, Georgia, joining us live. Good morning, Madison. We did get a lot of new information here, although there is still a lot overall left to figure out.
That's right, Josh. Some gruesome new details. Jose Ibarra, the suspected killer of Laken Riley's arrest affidavit, says that he used a weapon to seriously disfigure her skull. And
okay, we have the affidavit. So as soon as we play maybe one or two clips, we'll go look at the affidavit. It's not too gruesome, but with cases like this, you guys, we always want to be careful. And it will get a little gruesome, so viewer discretion advised.
the affidavit also says that Ibarra concealed the death by dragging Riley's body to a secluded area. The coroner hears.
Okay, now when you hear this, the details of this case could very well be, you could just switch the names to Rachel Morin. And what happened here is identical.
Says the full autopsy report likely won't be out for several weeks. These new developments come as hundreds gathered on campus yesterday for a vigil to honor Laken Riley, as well as another student who died by suicide the night before Riley died.
She exuded devotion with each and everything that she did. A devoted Christian, sister, student, daughter, and friend. And we have no doubt that she would have been an incredible nurse. It is absolutely earth-shattering to think that the world will never have that opportunity.
The suspected killer is in jail without bond for Riley's murder. ICE confirms Ibarra illegally entered the U.S. through El Paso in 2022.
So he came in 2022. Not sure how he ended up in Georgia, most likely searching for work. But let's go to Don's comment real quick, and then we'll finish this short video. I think the killer looks like the LA video of the Rachel Morin murder suspect. High cut sides on hair, but grown out. Yeah, it could be grown out. And him and his brother, they have their hair colored. I thought that was strange too. As if they were trying to disguise themselves.
They say New York police arrested him just a few months ago in August for acting
See the dyeing of the hair? His brother has something very similar, but it's green.
in a manner to injure a child. ICE says NYPD released him before they could issue a detainer on Ibarra. The White House says they extend their deepest condolences to Riley's family and that anyone found guilty should be held accountable to the fullest extent. And Josh, the district attorney here, says that they're bringing in a top trial attorney to prosecute Ibarra, but they say that the office has not yet received the case.
Let's take a look at his brother.
Some of the morning's top stories. Governor Brian Kemp is calling on President Joe Biden to share more information about the man accused of killing Augusta University nursing student Laken Riley. Jose Ibarra was arrested for murder Friday, a day after Riley was found dead on UGA's campus near intramural fields. The suspect is from Venezuela and is not a U.S. citizen. Governor Kemp is demanding answers about his immigration status and demanding more information about this man here, the suspect's older brother, who was arrested Friday for having a fake green card. Atlanta News First has learned that this brother, Diego Ibarra, was hired by UGA as a dishwasher in Bolton Dining Hall, but presented a fake green card and was never paid because he didn't provide more documentation.
Remember the theories that we had when we were covering Rachel's case? Because we know she went to the salon, got a spray tan, and then she went and worked out across the street at, I think it was Planet Fitness. But when you go to Street View and you kind of look at the area surrounding the LA Fitness and surrounding the salon are these little restaurants, right? So if you're getting dropped off in DC and there's just absolutely no work for you, I don't think it's out of the question to kind of span out a little bit to Maryland. And we know when it comes to dishwashing and restaurants, a lot of the staff that works in the back, you can expect to find a few illegals.
Needed. In his letter to the president, Kemp writes about the southern border, saying in part, while the dangers of this crisis have never been theoretical, this week our state witnessed a devastating tragedy. Some of the morning's time.
Here's the brother. And we'll include him in the comparisons too, just because. What's with all this green shit? So we'll come back to that part, guys. I promise.
Hartford County have released new information on a sketch of a suspect in the Rachel Morin murder case.
As WMER2 News' Jeff Hager reports tonight, there is hope this image of a killer will lead to an arrest.
For months, police have circulated this video of the man who they believe killed Rachel Morin along the Ma and Pa Trail in Bel Air. That door camera footage came from Los Angeles, where the same man assaulted people during a home invasion months earlier. Now, police have painstakingly come up with a sketch of the suspect, hoping someone can identify him.
We didn't have a sketch up until just last week that we had a high level of confidence in. So using the video, talking to people out in the Los Angeles crime scene, and talking to people here who saw a person along the trail who could be our suspect, we now have a high degree of confidence that sketch accurately.
So witnesses in LA saw somebody walking around the neighborhood around the time of that crime, and they agree that this looks like that person. Well, also in Rachel's case, they saw somebody who was near where she was found. I think a few days leading up to the crime, he was seen walking around the area, kind of from above, they say. Witnesses described him looking down from a ridge. So we'll try to find that area where he might be hiding, and try to figure out what he might be doing. If we all agree this is a migrant, is he there just traveling from his home to work? Is he possibly at this moment in time just passing through, homeless maybe?
He portrays the suspect.
Police have also released new information suggesting the suspect may have been here in the Bel Air area for weeks leading up to the killing. Witnesses spotted someone
neither, Cindy.
matching that description in the week leading up to the murder, which leads them to believe he had already planned out an area to commit such a crime. And he likely would have previously seen Rachel running there.
See, we were right about all of this part for the most part, right? As they're releasing information, we were spot on. Here, let's take a look at something here. And this is what we talked about early on, was the location where Rachel was found. Okay, now notice this area right here. She was found somewhere in I think like a cauldron or a drainage area, somewhere off the path here. I think coming right here, because I believe it's used to go underneath this highway. So what this person did was probably waited for her right here. This is a perfect ambush location. Right? He either was behind her and then cut across. And that was my theory, that he was behind her or waiting here. Or following her just far enough that once she went around the bend, he could just jump in front of her. And then if she tried to run, all he had to do was jump back over here again. There is a small fence, and we can kind of take a closer look at it. I do have a video of somebody actually walking in that area. I'm just looking for it now, and then I'll pull it up on screen. I think this might be it right here. Okay, there it is. Okay, so this is that very point. Let me run it back for you guys. So now you see this path right here? That's where he took her, down in this direction. Out, and then I think down over here. So what the hell was this guy doing in the park? And if he's seen plotting and planning this murder, was it wrong place, wrong time for Rachel? See, now right here, all he would have to do is hop this little fence, and he would be about, I don't know, about 40 feet in front of her. Without even her noticing. As she's going around the bend, he would be right there in front of her. Like, what the hell? And then if she gets nervous and runs back, he just has to run back up the hill and over that little fence. Or just wait even right here. Maybe he's living right here in this little area. Maybe he's been there for a couple weeks or something. What's up, Sandy? Searching for work? Yep. Desperate for work. Angry, right? Angry at the Americans. This isn't what I thought it would be. Jumpin' Jack Flash, welcome in. That's a good tip, Molly. Or don't wear headphones at all, right? Maybe just wear one and don't listen to it so loud. I'm the kind of person, I check my back all the time. I turn around. Be very hard to just randomly creep up on me. Chopper says that's him. So I figure we are about at the halfway point. So let me pull this open. Tattoo on the right side of the neck in the video. I don't know. I checked. We'll take a closer look, but I don't see it. I'll pull that up too. And I have the video frame by frame. Okay, I guess we'll start here. So I just threw everything here on one little collage here. So that's the suspect in the Rachel Morin case. When it comes to Rachel's suspect, for me, it's his forehead. Seems to be tiny. Let's get him out of there. Put him to the side. He's much closer, but I don't think it's a match. This is too big. Let's try that. It's not the right angle. Tom says these people come here thinking no repercussions. I mean, there really isn't. If he would have gotten away, he would have never been caught, especially if his DNA or something's not on file. You know, they would actually have to physically capture this person in the act. Or who cares if they have his DNA? He could have his DNA scattered all over the United States. It wouldn't matter unless they had him or knew who he was. It's kind of like the Delphi case, right? They had DNA this entire time. Whose DNA is it? All right, let's go frame by frame. And guys, I'm gonna go let my dogs out real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, sorry about that. Figured I'd grab a few cookies too. Saw some Oreos sitting there on the counter. Don't mind if I do. So this is a good frame. Can't really see the tattoo looks like it might be on the other side of the neck. On that other guy, that is, anyway. On Diego. No, it looks like it is the right side. The hell is that? It almost looks like he was trying to cover up a scar. Let's see. Oh, also, I found this letter here. Hartford, County Executive Robert G. Casserly. Notice the date. Just a few months after Rachel was murdered. It says here, my office received an unsolicited letter on Monday from an unknown organization indicating that they were working to bring up to 105 families of undocumented immigrants from New York City to the Holiday Inn in Belcamp. A letter from the same organization was sent to the mayor of Aberdeen about bringing 115 families to the Comfort Inn and Suites on Hospitality Way. That's 20 minutes away from where Rachel's body was discovered. We are working to verify the accuracy of these letters. So they're denying it. They're saying they won't allow it.
To that story in just a minute. First, though, are illegal immigrants from New York City moving to Hartford County hotels and motels? County Executive Bob Casserly, along with other Hartford County leaders, got a letter over the weekend saying that's the plan. A group claims that they're in the process of bringing 220 immigrant families to Hartford County. WMER2 News' Janae Wright was in Hartford County today. And Janae, is this letter real?
Well, Kelly, that's the big question, and Hartford County leaders are trying to figure that out. Either way, they say it's unlikely the immigrant families will be coming to Hartford County for a number of reasons. Mainly, they're worried about the impact it would have on the county. The letter, sent from a group called the Greater Baltimore Area Motel Consortium, is claiming to bring illegal immigrants from New York City to Hartford County and house them in 2 area hotels. In the letter, it claims to have had meetings with multiple New York and Maryland agencies who have all agreed to this effort.
Let's go to Candace here. If he knew her routine, he was probably just waiting to get her, literally just waiting for the perfect opportunity to assault her. Yeah, if he needed a place to kind of lay low, or maybe he had some work, or he was just passing through, and he's spending some time here, like, hey, this is a great place for me to set up a little hobo camp or whatever. And while he's there, he notices a pattern. Hey, that girl, she's here around 6 every day. Well, tomorrow, that's when if she's here tomorrow, I'll wait for her.
I asked some neighbors in Hartford County how they felt about the letter.
We need to get more clarity on that, first of all. And I'm not sure if that even is going to happen. And I hope it doesn't happen, because when you talk about illegal immigrants, that's an entirely different ballgame.
On Wednesday, Councilman Penman called on County Executive Bob Casserly to reject the proposal, claiming Casserly was scheduled to meet with the organization later this week, which Casserly denies.
He's been aggressively negative towards me since the day he was sworn in. I don't play that kind of politics.
Casserly then sent out his own statement in which he says he does not agree with the proposal and is investigating to find out if the organization that sent the letter is even real. Casserly says he has reached out to Governor Moore and agencies in New York City who all deny any knowledge of moving immigrants. He also says Hartford County simply cannot take in that many families.
I don't support any effort to relocate the immigrant families from New York
Did
City
they do it anyway?
into Hartford County. It's grossly unfair to the students and the families in Hartford County to flood us with over 220 immigrant families into 2 of my schools is just absolutely outrageous. I will do everything in my power to make sure that doesn't happen.
And really, they don't have to bus any of these migrants into Maryland when they're already doing it in D.C. Remember, we looked at that. It's right across the pond there. Take a closer look. Okay. Here's where Laken's body was found. Not exactly sure where. In the affidavit, it says intramural fields, which I'm assuming would be these 6 different fields here. Parking lot smack dab in the middle. Another parking area here. What was Mr. Ivada doing here? Was he working? What the hell was going on? When I first looked at this location, I thought maybe it was these trails, right? And maybe it was. Maybe it was something that happened right before she got into the trails, maybe? Like right here? Because I think the mural is somewhere right here. Or not the mural, sorry, the memorial. I was looking at something else. So maybe it was like in this area even. Let's take a look at the affidavit. So Jose Antonio Ivara, between the dates of February 22nd. So here, it looks like they're going to list it down at the bottom. So it was murder. The University of Georgia intramural fields. Antonio did commit the offense of kidnapping when such person abducts or steals away another person without lawful authority. So there's a kidnapping, trying to take her to a secondary location. Did commit the offense of false imprisonment. Excuse me. In violation of the personal liberty of another. So he grabbed her and held her. Did commit the offense of aggravated assault with the intent to murder. Aggravated battery, maliciously causes bodily harm. Disfiguring her body or a member thereof by disfiguring her skull. So that's extremely similar to what we hear with Rachel Morin. So let's go take a look at that.
I had never walked it myself.
For Michael Gaberzescu,
I told my stepdaughter, I said, look, it's not going to be laying out in the open.
the Ma and Pa Trail in Bel Air, uncharted territory.
I said, she's going to be
Very
tucked away
similar
somewhere."
location.
But the former National Park search and rescue officer has extensive experience tracking down missing people.
So basically, it's my passion to bring closure to that family by bringing her back and not having them wonder what happened.
Following reports, 37-year-old Rachel Morin left for a walk and never returned, Gabrzeski and his stepdaughter taking off on a search rooted on instinct.
I just kept seeing tunnels in my mind. I don't know why, but I just kept seeing tunnels.
Scary, Candace.
Despite law enforcement swarming the area for almost a full day, Gabrzeski's stepdaughter locating the body in about an hour. The deadly discovery.
Once we got down there and I started seeing them tunnels, I started getting goosebumps.
Thanks, 63
Made
clocks.
in a tunnel drain not far from the trail's main entrance.
I saw a terrible mess.
Gabrzeski's visions meeting the reality of a gruesome scene.
There's not going to be an open casket. I can
Listen to
guarantee
this
you
part
that.
here.
He says Morin's body found in a pool of blood, suffering severe head trauma. An injury
Severe
he
head
believes
trauma.
could be the result of a rock.
My
A
daughter
rock?
said that there was a big rock down there that was all caked in blood.
I understand.
Right? Very similar. I mean, it's not, I wouldn't even call it similar. I would call it the same. It is 100% the same. That part is just so strange. I mean, it can't be the same guy, right? It doesn't really look like him. But what if he's connected in some way? What if the outcome is based on the same scenario, the same life situation? Maybe they've spoken with each other. Maybe one was inspired by the other. I'm not quite sure. Did physically prevent or hinder another person with the intent to cause physical harm from making or completing a 911 telephone call. So she tried to call law enforcement. He didn't let her do it. And then he moved and staged the crime scene. Moved the bodies and staged the crime scene. Dragging the victim to a secluded area. Was he alone? Eight counts. This guy has awful handwriting. Look at that. So this will be our 10-minute warning, guys. A couple pieces of information I want to go over. Let's see here. Okay, I did bookmark it. Let's see. Over 1,000, Lake Huron, 602, Dunsinane. I think that's it. Okay, so the witness said they saw Rachel's suspect looking. I can't remember the way they put it. From, well, I guess this is kind of up on a hill over here, too. Let's see what that guy said.
Up to the killing. Witnesses, which leads them at such running there and spotted.
They saw a male who came forward that told us they saw a male who was acting suspiciously in the immediate area of the trail where Rachel was attacked on a ridgeline looking down.
On a ridgeline looking down is what the witnesses said. On a ridgeline looking down. So that was just behind the crime scene. So you can kind of see the drainage area a little bit. It's right here. You can kind of see where the water drains down in this direction. So she was attacked right here. And really, both of these loops could have been used, right? Could have followed her right here and then ran through this area to block her off here. And he could have been just living right here, transient, or working at these homes back here. And I believe this is where she jumped onto the trail, right at this location. So if he was a migrant looking for work, I just don't know where he would be working. The trails lead in this direction. There's a mall right here. So there's a huge hub right here, and the trails lead directly to this hub of businesses, and you got the Home Depot right here. So maybe he was just going to the Home Depot. And you can take the trail and go right underneath this highway. There's a huge tunnel that goes underneath here. You can ride your bike, you can walk, whatever. And as soon as you go to the other side, you have a post office, you have some small businesses, and then you have some apartments as well. Did he know somebody here? He's leaving this area, going back home. Now, the place that we read about where they were talking about sending migrants to is not very far. I think it might be right here. Yeah, Country Inn and Suites. I think that's what they said, right? Let me go back to my document. I feel like that's wrong. Comfort Inn and Suites on Hospitality Way. So maybe we are right. I couldn't see Hospitality Way. Maybe I just need to zoom in a little bit. So yeah, that's got to be it. Oh no, here it is. Here's another one, Holiday Inn. So we need to find Hospitality. I found it earlier. And I'm not far. Maybe it's up, not down. There it is, Hospitality Way. Comfort Inn and Suites. So it's right here. Let's get a look at this place. So there was talk of bringing migrants to this location here, 20 minutes away. And that was before the murders. Right. So we'll spend the last 5 minutes here catching up on chat. Let me know what you guys think about today's information on these cases, how they might be connected. I think it might be Texas and this busing of migrants out to the sanctuary cities might be the cause of these types of crimes. In both cases, I think that's the connection. Let me know what you think in the chat and in the comments. Yep, same height. I think the suspect in Rachel's case is around 5'9", is what they think. V, it's a rune. His neck tattoo. It's a runic. Tom, surely they have shown these mugshots to living witnesses. Surely. And this sketch is a lot slimmer looking than this one. This guy's got a real big, weird looking head. Like massive, like the width. Gargantuan. Thought I had a big head. Thanks, Brad. I appreciate it. All right, guys, that is all my time. Thanks again. Don't forget members tonight, 6 p.m. And we can continue this conversation too, and whatever else you guys want to talk about. There's a few things I want to bring up. But other than that, that's really it, guys. I appreciate everybody who caught the live stream. Thank you for watching the Sleuth Intuition channel. If you are part of the replay crew, you know what to do. Drop a comment and let me know what you think. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay in the loop. Sleuth Intuition is 100% crowdfunded. If you want to support me and help my channel grow, here are 3 ways that you can help. Number 1, Cash App. The funds go directly to me without YouTube taking a percentage. Number 2, become a member. Members are by far the leading contributors to my channel. Number 3, hit up the merch shop. Represent the Sleuth crew on these ruthless streets. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Sleuth Intuition channel. I'm your host, Patrick Vallejos. Until next time, peace.